back to another video. My name is Souad and I teach you guys how to wholesale real estate absolutely free. If you don't believe it, check out the link in my description. It is a free breakdown course that has everything that you need to start your wholesaling journey, from how to find motivated sellers to how to use skip tracing, which softwares you need, how to find the contracts for every state, how to understand the contracts, how to use the scripts from cold calling to texting, and how to find the buyers to assign the contract to. Absolutely free, link in the description. Just want to help you guys out, of course. If you guys have seen any of my videos, you know I'm all about transparency and all about helping you guys get your first deal. So check out the link in my description. Now, in today's video, we're going to be focusing on the cold calling script part. I get so many questions about, I have all these lists. How do I make these calls? What if I mess up? What do I ask the homeowner? So I'm going to be sharing the cold calling script that I use and that I train my virtual assistants to use. I know this script works because I've used it plenty of times to close deals. Again, with cold calling, you really want to build rapport and have a conversation with the homeowner. So you don't really want to read off a script, but it's good to have it on hand to look back at. You know, sometimes we do get stuck. Sometimes we do freeze up. So having something to look at while we're making these calls is always beneficial, right? So this is a script that I use. Again, you guys can change it up however you seem fit. You guys can do whatever you want when you're on these calls with these homeowners, but I'm going to share the method that worked for me, and I hope it helps you guys out. So first part, right off the bat, I like going the direct way. I know a lot of people like to build that rapport, like, hey, how are you? How's the weather? Personally, if you call me and are asking about the weather or asking how I am, and I don't know who you are, you're a random caller, I'm going to hang up, right? So for that reason, I like being straight up, and that's why in the beginning, this is what I say. Hey, whatever the homeowner's name is. So, hey, Mark, this is Souad from Direct Buyers Nationwide. Now, if you don't have a company name or an LLC or whatever the case may be, you can always say that I'm a local investor in the area. So, hey, Mark, this is Souad. I'm a local investor in the area. I was calling about your property on 123 Main Street. Just wanted to know if you were interested in selling it. That is my opening line, straight to the point, no questions asked, right there. Now, for most of the calls, you're going to get, no, I'm not interested. No, right? It's bound to happen. This is a numbers game. The more people you call, the better chances you get a yes. But for those no's, there are rebuttals that you can use. So one of the ones that we use is there any other property you might be interested in selling? Now, the reason that we asked this is we asked Mark about 123 Main Street. Now, let's just say 123 Main Street happens to be the house that he lives in, that he fixed up, that it's his own personal property. He's not interested in selling it. But if we ask about any other properties, let's say Mark is an investor and has rental units elsewhere or has a property he inherited or whatever the case may be, we wouldn't have had that answer of yes because we only asked about 123 Main Street. We didn't ask about any other property. So I always train my virtual assistants when someone says no to that first initial property, always ask, is there any other property you might be interested in? It doesn't always work, but there's a small chance that they might have another property. So if they say no again, we're not going to disturb them. We're not trying to force anyone to sell their house. We're not going to be pushy or salespeople. You know, if someone's motivated, you can tell right off the bat, they're going to say yes, they're going to say maybe, they're going to say what's your offer. Those are the responses that we're looking for. If someone's not interested, move on to the next one. Now, let's say someone is interested and has said yes. What do? We go on to collecting more information. So I like to say, great. So the whole purpose of this call is to get some info about the property so we can make an offer. You have about 5 minutes so I can ask you some questions about your property, right? So the reason that I ask them instead of going straight to the questionnaire is I want them to have control. I want them to feel like they're in charge of this conversation, that they're the ones that actually want this conversation. I'm not just annoying them, bugging them, asking them questions, right? I want them to have that little bit of control, even though I'm the one leading the conversation. Now, this is just the part that I like to add. It's not necessary. You don't have to talk about your company or yourself at all. I just feel like it does build that little bit of rapport because I am telling them what we do. I do explain to them that there's no inspection, there's no real estate agents, it's a fast cash offer, but you can go straight to asking the questions on the questionnaire. So for the questionnaire, we're going to be talking about the property checklist. One of the questions the most important question, truthfully, is what's the general condition of the house, right? This is the part where we're trying to get as much information about the property as possible. So one of the first questions we start, what's the general condition of the house? Second, are there any repairs that need to be done? If yes, what are they? Third, have you made any improvements to the property? Fourth, how long have you owned the property? Fifth, is this house yours or is it a rental? Do you currently live in it or is it being rented out to tenants? Now, if it's a rental property, we do want to ask more questions, and here are the questions that you're going to ask. So if the property is a rental, we want to know how much is it being rented for. We also want to know if it's on a lease or on a month-to-month. And then if it is on a lease, when does the lease end, right? An investor is going to want to know these answers. So if it is tenant occupied, we do want to know this information. If the owner is occupying the home, we don't need to know this information. The next question is the property currently listed with a realtor, right? If it is, then we're talking about on-market deals, and that's a whole completely different subject compared to off-market deals. I like to focus on off-market deals. I'd rather work directly with the homeowner rather than dealing with the real estate agent. But again, you can also wholesale on-market deals, but we'll talk about that in a different video. Next part of our cold calling script, we want to know their motivation. Why are they looking to sell? The reason that we want to know this is we want to know how to lead the conversation, right? Here's all the common motivations you're going to hear, from inheritance to divorce to foreclosure, and each different route is going to take you to a different conversation. This is when they start talking about themselves. They start talking about their financials, they start talking about their situation, and this is where you build that rapport and connection with the homeowner. So it is a very important question to ask, is because it does help you long term. Next up, we have timeline, right? When are you looking to sell, right? This is an important question, especially now that we're in the holiday season. A lot of people are waiting until after the holidays to sell. So you're going to hear it a lot, especially during end of November, beginning of December. A lot of people are going to be like maybe after holidays, maybe during January, February. So it is a good question to have because we do like to move fast. So this is also a good time to know when you're going to have to follow up with this homeowner because they might not be motivated right now, but they will be in later months. So you know when to recall anyway. So next, we need to know the amount owed. So if we buy the property, will we need to pay off any taxes, liens, or a mortgage? If so, do you have a rough idea of how much? Now, the reason we ask this is to know how much is owed on the property, if there's any liens, if there's any back taxes. This is important in terms of how we're going to give the offer to the homeowner. Now, finally, the last question and the most important question of all of this is how much are they looking to walk away for the property? How much do they want for it, right? This is the most important question because this kind of tells you if they're actually motivated or not, if they want market value, if they are willing to take a discounted offer. This is one of the most important questions. So once you get all your questions answered, now it's time to kind of close up the conversation. I like to end it with, this sounds like a property we'll likely want to make an offer on. I'm going to take everything you told me to my manager. We'll evaluate it and call you back. The reason I have it as manager is because this is the script that my virtual assistants actually use. I end up calling back and actually giving the offer, but you guys can always say, we're going to take what you said and give us just a couple of hours and we'll come back to you with an offer, right? So it really you can end this however you like. I don't like giving an offer right on the spot. I like having time to go run the numbers and figure out how much I'm going to offer. And then I usually give them a call back later that afternoon or the next day and give them an offer on the property. That's where the negotiation happens. That's where we start talking. And that's usually how the script goes for the most part, right? Again, you guys can change this up however you like, right? This is just a rough A to Z type of script where it has everything that you need to know about the property, it has their motivation, has the timeline, has the price, has how much it owed. Like, this is the full breakdown of the information that you're going to want to know from the homeowner. So it's something to look at while you're making these calls. Obviously, you want this to flow as a conversation, so you don't want to read it off like a robot. You do want to have an actual conversation, but you have this in front of you. That way, if you do get stuck, you have something to read. Now, I hope this video helped you guys with your cold calling scripts. These are linked in the description. Again, they're free to use. They're already there for you guys. And I do hope they help you guys close that first deal, second deal, third deal, whatever part of your journey you're at when it comes to wholesaling. And that's all I have for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe. If you guys have any video recommendations, you can always comment them below. I'm always looking to hear about more video ideas. I do run out of things to say, especially since if you guys are on Instagram or on TikTok, I post daily on there and just about a wide array of everything that you need to know. It's on Instagram, it's on TikTok. If you want more consistent videos, that's where you should be going. But for the most part, if you have any video recommendations, comment below, help me out. But don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and I'll see you guys in the next video.